Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations of Venmo and the Patreon family. Now, I'm going to breeze through this real quick. I'm not even going to spend too much time talking about it. Question I oftentimes get, what's my pound for pound list? Like I said, usually the #1 spot's pretty easy at most times to determine. Like when Floyd had it, when Andre Ward had it, pretty easy to determine. But I don't do pound for pound lists. It's just because it's all politics, it's all subjective, it's all based on who you like and different weight classes, different parameters. So it's like no two pound for pound lists are going to be exactly the same. You know what I mean? You got guys like ESPN will say Lomachenko's #1 and he ain't even beat Rigondeaux yet. You know what I'm saying? And what's the best name on his resume? Maybe Gary Russell, who really hadn't beaten anyone at the time they fought. Anyway, Ring Magazine, Ring TV, they released their pound for pound list. Not a fan of it. I mean, but this is their opinion. They have Gennady Golovkin at #1, Crawford at 2, Lomachenko at 3, Rigondeaux at 4, Sergey Kovalev at 5, Canelo at 6, Mikey Garcia at 7. At number 8, you have Inui. 9, you have Errol Spence Jr. And 10, you have Sor Rungvisai. Horrible. Trash. Basura. I mean, me personally, like I said, this is why I don't do it. First of all, I look at it like this. How is Triple G #1 pound for pound? He's coming off of a draw, right? So this is the current updated pound for pound. So you just drew with Canelo. You could argue, oh yeah, I think Triple G won. You know what I mean? But there are people who believe Canelo won. There are people that believe it was a draw. So we kind of have to go off of what actually transpired. That's what I would think. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is, it was a draw. Now, before that, he fought against Gennady Golovkin. I mean, against Daniel Jacobs. And I thought Jacobs won, along with Deontay Wilder, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Canelo, and a bunch of other people. But some people had Golovkin win. So when I look at it for Golovkin, good fighter, but his two most important fights were his last two fights. One with Canelo, he had been asking for it and like pleading for no knockdowns, suffered, no knockouts. He was the taller man, the bigger man, the more experienced guy at that weight. So it's like your last two performances, aka your best names on your resume, you didn't look like you did versus Dominic Wade's and Gabe Rosado's and different people like that. So it's like, how is he #1? Like, what has he done over Terence Crawford at this point? Because when I see Terence Crawford, you can say, yeah, the Gamboa fight was tough, but look at how it ended. An Olympic gold medalist was on the canvas and got knocked down 4 times, right? Gamboa hurt Crawford in that fight, but the end result was Gamboa losing his Olympic gold medalist getting knocked down 4 times and hurt. And you can say, oh, Crawford, he was bigger, he rehydrated. Still an Olympic gold medalist, who, again, is Crawford's toughest fight. So even though there was a size differential, I mean, the same could be said for the Golovkin. Golovkin's listed at 5'10.5", 5'11". Canelo's pretty short compared to him, 5'7.5", 5'8". You know what I mean? So to me, I don't even understand that. But more importantly, when I see Crawford, if we're talking pound for pound, he's moved up. Golovkin hasn't moved up, which you could be on the, you know what I mean? Like Marvin Hagler stayed in the division, he stayed put or whatnot, and he could be considered pound for pound. So it's not just about moving up, but when you have people who are also undefeated, like Crawford, I don't think he has any draws on his resume. And the thing with Crawford that I like is Crawford is showing separation. You know what I mean? Guys like Julius Ndongo, I was at that fight. Ndongo presented certain puzzles. He has power you have to respect. He was massively taller than Crawford. He had been going to guys' backyards and beating or stopping them convincingly. Former champion, who was a champion again in the new weight division, Ricky Burns, he beat him in Scotland. And then Troyanovsky, who was ranked #1 for Terence Crawford as a mandatory, and then he got stretched, I think, in the first round. And then Crawford dogged him, knocked him out in 3 rounds, right? Felix Diaz, another Olympic gold medalist, who beat Sammy Vasquez, who has fought Errol Spence in the amateurs, had the amateur pedigree. He was a soldier in the army or something. So, you know what I mean, just overall tough. And Felix Diaz beat him, arguably beat Lamont Peterson, etc. So he had experience not only at a catchweight with Lamont Peterson at 143, but he also fought as high as welterweight versus Crawford was fighting at 140 and 35 and stuff like that. And Crawford dogged Felix Diaz. Victor Postal, the champion, coming off the Lucas Matisse destruction. He destroyed Lucas Matisse, frustrated him, and was the first to stop him, including names like Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, who else? Zab Judah. None of these guys could stop Humberto Soto, John Molina. None of these dudes stopped Matisse, right? But Postal did. And coming off that as a champion, Crawford dogged him too. I was at that fight. So to me, it doesn't make sense. Like that, just that right there. Why would you put Triple G? Like what is the resume? Yeah, he had 23 knockouts in a row, but I mean, Dominic Wade coming off a split decision versus Sam Solomon, Gabe Rosado coming up from 54, Ashita, Proska, like Martin Murray, never been a champ, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't see that, especially coming off a draw and arguably losing to Jacobs. Lomachenko at 3 and 4, Rigondeaux. Why is Kovalev at #5 when he took back-to-back losses? You know, you see, that's why this is why it's almost a joke when you hear people's pound-for-pound list. Kovalev's coming off back-to-back losses, but Mikey Garcia and Canelo are behind him. You know what I mean? Canelo has 1 loss, but he lost to the best fighter of this generation, Floyd Mayweather, right? The Lotta fight was tight, but they gave him it, and the Golovkin fight was tight, but they said it was a draw. So why is Kovalev at #5 and Canelo's #6? Same thing with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was fighting in the 120s, beating top names, like some of them before Lomachenko, like Roman Martinez, right? He was beating the Juan Burgos and just different guys like that were top-rated guys. Then he had that issue with Top Rank. He was on the sideline for 2.5 years, came back, had a fight with Elias Rojas at 140, knocked him out, dropped down to 35, knocked out a champion brutally. I was at that fight. And then he came back and moved back up to 140 and fought Adrian Broner. And obviously Broner versus Elias Rojas. So even though he fought at 140 versus Elias Rojas, Rojas was like a 35 or 30 pounder who had to move up for that particular opportunity. Broner has fought as high as 47. So how do you have Kovalev before Mikey Garcia, right? Then you have Inoue before Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence beat people like barometer tests like Chris Algieri, stopped him when Pacquiao couldn't, Ruslan Provodnikov couldn't, right? Amir Khan couldn't, and he beat the Leonard Bundu when Keith Thurman couldn't stop him. And obviously, more importantly, his last fight against Kell Brook, he went overseas and beat Kell Brook, made him take a knee like Kaepernick, and removed him of his belt. So what has Inoue done over what Errol Spence has done? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like politics. Someone please explain why Inoue would be before Errol Spence. And then you have Sor Rungvisai at #10. And at the moment, whether you think Inoue can beat Sor Rungvisai, based on what they've proven, Sor Rungvisai beat Chocolatito, who was being considered pound for pound. So why is he rounding off the list? And Inoue is higher than Spence and Sor Rungvisai. Shit like that doesn't even make sense. So Sor Rungvisai at least fought Carlos Cuadras, you know what I mean, for a title. He was a WBC champion, and then he beat Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito, twice. So why is he at the back and Inoue's 2 spaces above him? This list is shit, and that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Where would you put people? Where would you place people on this list? It's just, to me, the ordering doesn't make sense. I don't know if they have a team and multiple people deciding, which could be the problem. because everyone has their own opinion. Again, that's why I don't do pound for pound list, but definitely don't think Triple G is number one coming off a draw and the Jacobs performance and never moving up in weight. And I don't think guys like Canelo, Spence, Mikey Garcia, and Sor Rungvisai really should be behind Crusher Kovalev by several spots when he just lost. If this is pound for pound, you just had a guy in Andre Ward who had to move up from super middle 168, had 2 tune-up fights or 2 fights to ready him for the division, and then he beat you. And then you complained about it and said son of judges, and then he beat you again by stoppage. Now, just because he's retired, I understand Ward's not going to be on the list, but to me, that doesn't change. Just because Ward retired, that don't mean that Kovalev's his losses are alleviated. You know what I mean? We omit his back-to-back losses. So it's just crazy, man. Let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego Sunday. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.